Hello, everybody. Welcome in to another fine edition of Atlutd United Fan TV live post-match reactions. Unfortunately, we didn't pull it out. Another crazy, weird, unprecedented, inexplicable victory like we have been doing. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I wish, in my heart of hearts, we could have done it again on the biggest quote-unquote stage in MLS. Unfortunately, it just wasn't in the cards. Our luck had run out when you go up against a buzzsaw like that. Luckily, we really were, Brad Guzan acted as a tourniquet this game. Stemmed the blood loss quite a bit. He really stopped us from bleeding out. And honestly, gave us a little bit of a taste of a potential comeback for next game. I think he kept us in this in terms of our mindset. We lost the game, and we're down 1-0 in the series, but it wasn't done in such a way where we're down and out mentally, I believe. And I hope that's the case for our players, even though physically it seems like Lennon and Stian got beat up a good amount. Lennon way more so. He's probably out for a while with what appears to be a dislocation. Rob did not follow up with what his status is in the presser, and Stian looks like he had tightness. We expected it as much. These guys have been running all over the place. So many flights, so many games in such short time frame. It was bound to come rear its ugly head eventually. Doug Robertson asked Rob at the presser, do you think that this is an unfair format for a team like us? It's like, well, I don't think so personally, because you earn these privileges for doing well in the regular season. It gives some credit and some importance to it. So, unfortunately, the guys we're playing against earned their rest, and we did not. So we have to soldier through it. But we do get a week off-ish. So hopefully we can regroup, lick our wounds a bit, and I think we're still in this, believe it or not, after everything we saw, and we will get into it. We'll get into what we think and how we think we could perhaps come back and where we stand now going forward. So I am joined now with AJ, and we also have a couple of guests that'll come in through tonight. We're going to have to make it a little quick. There's a lot of interest to come on, but there's also not a lot of time tonight because it's a late start. So it is what it is. So yeah, we're going to streamline it a bit. Sorry if I'm hurrying you a little bit. It's not that I don't want to hear what you have to say, but we have a gamut of people to get through. So anyway, AJ, in the interest of time, truncated summary, please. No, I'm just kidding. Give me what you thought about the game.
Yeah, I mean, it is unfortunately what I predicted, and as optimistic as we all want to be, the heart and mind say different things. And Brad Guzan, yeah, he really did save us from embarrassment in this match. It's eloquently put by you that it's a tourniquet, because we cannot allow those number of shots. That's not sustainable. That's not something that we, as a team that wants to go far, can allow every single match. And it is, against the best team in the league, the best team in league history, it maybe was in the cards to happen, but it is also, the defense going down to injuries definitely hurts. However much you think about Lennon's prowess defensively, he still is a starting right back in this league. So it's, him going off, that definitely hurt. And, the 2 goal scorers from last match, it makes it really, really difficult going forward. You don't know the fitness levels of some of these players that have been really, really crucial for kind of us getting into the position that we are. And fatigue plays a part. There is, I think, as well, I mean, for the positives, I think Saba, scoring again against Inter Miami. I mean, he's just he's got their number. 4 goals this year.
Maybe he just hates the color pink.
And I'm here for it. Yeah. He seems like he gets motivated for the big games, and I mean, Amador with another really beautiful ball into the box. 6 assists already in his short time with LA United so far. Just incredible player.
He tried to get a goal tonight too.
And he tried to get a goal. Well, that almost led us to a really bad counter.
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah.
Brad Guzan had he came out 2 times to sweep up, playing sweeper keeper this game, and I mean timed it all really perfectly. There have been other years and other kind of games where he gets caught out, but he comes off his line well, and man, Brad Guzan, not 8 or 9 saves. There's discrepancies between stat lines with different companies, but I mean, man, it just is. He's been saving our butt this year, and we're gonna have to have a real conversation if we are going to keep him for another year or not. But
I think it's just, if he wants to be here, I think he has that spot. It makes sense to me. If this is how he's going to perform, then yeah. Yeah.
Because he's proven he can be on a winning side. And, he's probably the one on this team that has that pedigree, for sure. Moranchuk, slated by a lot of the pundits and saying, he should have done more. I mean, yeah. But it also, I mean, what does he really have in front of him? He has Jamal Tiare, who gives a ton of energy, but I mean, those touches were heavy tonight. Like, he couldn't hold up the ball worth anything, unfortunately. And yeah, you kind of really want to see a little bit of that. That's why I was calling for Rios at the beginning, but I mean, even when Rios came on, I'm not really sure that was it either. I mean,
we're a team that lacks a good 9 right now. It's clear.
Exactly. I mean, and that's really what it is. It's like the first Inter Miami goal happens within 2 minutes, and Luis Suarez is exactly where he needs to be.
I mean, we gave it to him on a platter. That was very poor from us. Very poor. I mean, it's what was characteristic of the Gonzalo Pineda era of us just not being switched on at the start of a game. It reared its ugly head again, and it's so frustrating to see that. How are you not up for the start of a playoff match against Lionel freaking Messi? You're not. I don't know. Perhaps we're looking at it differently. It could be that it's nerves. Maybe they just had a lot of nerves. I know Williams had like some strange touches tonight because of, I would imagine, probably nerves. I don't know. Maybe it's had something to do with Jamal's heavy touches. I don't know. But that to me is unacceptable when you don't come out firing. And they even said it. One of the big things they hammered into the team that Brad Guzan talked about, that Rob talked about, surviving the initial onslaught of Miami. Mm-hmm. And what did you do? The exact opposite.
And it's this, though. It's a cheap giveaway, and there's interplay around our box, in which that's the beauty of what they do. They really know how to play with each other. And I mean, it's like a little layoff. Gregerson caught between 2 players getting turned, and I mean, before that, it was a ball through the legs. It's just that's what they do. That's what they have the ability to do, to shred teams apart. And those that are calling for Rob Valentino to possibly get the job, the head coach job, well, he's got so much ahead of him to play like Inter Miami, in the sense of, yes, okay. The caveat is, yes, they have Lionel Messi, but the difference still is the way they play is protagonist football. I'd rather be playing that and winning like Inter Miami and having a good year like Inter Miami than playing what you termed in the Five Stripe Weekly episode as terrorist football. It's, when you're down bad and, okay, find any way to win games, great. Do that. But would I rather be Inter Miami? Hell yeah. Like, that's...
Yeah, I'd rather be 2018 swashbuckling Atlanta United,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, let's be real. Like, we hit teams on the counter, but we also had a ton of possession. We played protagonist football.
Yeah. And
we had the ability to play multiple ways. Right now, we really, beyond the 45 pass goal recently, which I think is more of an anomaly.
Yeah.
We don't really play that way. And we weren't able to find the space in behind. And, I think they, with the players that they set in defense, which was a little bit, it was like a 5-man back line. It really kind of squashed the space in behind. Just really wasn't, like, we had too far to go. Even though, like, our goal with Saba was more, we had possession, and then we sliced them open by playing a ball through and in behind. So, it's gonna be a real wonder, like how we're gonna try to, I guess, really impose ourselves and make sure that we get something out of our game at the Benz, because we have to. Backs against the wall.
I don't think we're gonna play like that. I don't think we can play like that, especially not against Miami. I think they're gonna force us. They're gonna pin us like they did this game, and we're gonna have to resort to, that type of counterattacking and low block and things like that. I think that's how it'll play out. It seems like how it always seems to play out, just when you have such a disparity of talent from one team to another. But so let's get into the chat, and then we'll get into our first guest so we can keep things moving right along tonight. All right, guys. Jeez, I know we lost, but no one has anything to say in the chat tonight? No one?
They're all about to come on.
Is my chat broken? Hello? Bueller? But yeah, so with that, let me just ping our good buddy Nick, and we're also having a stop by Mark after this as well, with a few others, of course.
A gaggle of guests.
That's right. So we got people have things to say tonight, and rightfully so. So let me get 1 second.
Nick, welcome in.
Hey there.
Hey. I mean, 2-1 loss. What'd you think?
Does that sum it up?
Big side, yeah.
I was at the watch party at Sweetwater Brewing, the official watch party, and the energy was good there. There was a lot of enthusiasm. We had capos there. We were chanting. It was a good atmosphere, especially when Saba came through for us in amazing, spectacular fashion in the first half. That was probably the highlight of the night, the only highlight of the night for me, But we got schooled. We got took to school so bad. And it was just, other than little glimmers of daylight at various times, we just got played off the pitch.
Yeah.
Totally played off the pitch.
I mean, there was one part that after Saba had scored, and a good amount of time after that, going in, into the half, the crowd was kind of taken out of the game. And I thought that if we are gonna get something out of this, it's if that continues. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have that continue, but I mean, when you're playing, if we're gonna go to a game 3 back in Miami, that's got to be key. Shut them down, and then shut the crowd down from that. Obviously, that's not going to stop their superstars. Didn't stop them tonight. But it is definitely something that I think will slow down, dampen the rest of their team.
But the GOAT didn't score.
Yeah, I mean, that Brad Guzan saw to that.
Yeah. Best efforts, closing his legs quickly and coming out off his line, and
he didn't take
God,
him
he
down
was 40 yards off his line at one point to clear a ball away.
I was convinced he was going to pull a Brad Guzan against Hani Mukhtar, but luckily he did not. He played perfectly.
I was afraid he was going to pull a hamstring because he was knocking his leg a little bit. Looked like he was not used to running that far. So definitely,
he may have had more running than Mayumba tonight. Jeez.
Speaking of injuries, we have to talk about Brooks Lennon. I mean, we're all concerned. We're all saying in the chat that it looked like he separated his shoulder. Of course, we don't have official word yet, or at least I've not seen it.
Yeah.
But I'm really concerned for him.
Right.
His season's probably over.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, his season's probably over, but also, how long is the recovery? I mean, I think it's usually about a month or so. But he'll have something to prove for sure. And if that's his last appearance as an Atlanta United player, sad. But it is also, it's possible.
Yeah.
Very well possible that is it. But it also would mean he might be a little harder to move if he is long-term injured, which I don't think it's going to be, a 5-month injury. So he'll probably be okay for next year, but still.
We're not doctors, but that's our best guess.
Yeah, exactly. Just from kind of seeing, separated shoulders. But again, not a medical professional, so I will, defer to anybody that actually is. But yeah, and so the amount of shots obviously is super worrying. At the bends, do you feel like it's going to go similar, or are we going to be able to curb that, and maybe just by proxy having a little bit more of our fans, we can channel our energy into the players?
Yeah, I said multiple times this evening to a few people that the 17s have to be a factor in the next game. We have to show up, we have to show out, we have to bring that energy. We've got to be a force in this next match. There's no other way that what am I saying? It has to go that way. Let's put it that way. It has to go that way.
It's gone that way in the past. And it's gone that way. We've proven it can happen like that. So we just have to do it again. I just hope it plans out. I mean, again, when you're playing a team like Inter Miami, or like a team that's stacked like they are, things can just sometimes get thrown out of the window. I mean, just you get a wonder shot from Jordi Alba out of nowhere. Like, it's just, we knew that something like that would happen. It always does, because they always got that up their sleeve. They're always good for like one super goal a game. And we just have to build that into our plan. And unfortunately, we gave him a gift in the very beginning of the game, and then it just that did it over. And I'm like, I knew we were going to be up against it if we were gonna start the game like that, because I knew there was going to be like a Messi wonder goal or something like that happen, and then we would be really up against it. But I didn't expect us to score a second one. I was happy we scored one, and I thought that'd be enough to get us to penalties, and it sure seemed like it. If we just didn't let that blunder in at the beginning, we would have been in penalties and had a chance.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like kind of, 2 goals that maybe had the lowest chance of going in, probably, or at least happening, were the ones that went in. Because Lionel Messi in the 6-yard box, you would assume he would score, but Brad Guzan, quick to kick save or, get a knee to it. And I mean, it is that, right? It's like Brad Guzan, his weakness is shots from distance, but this was a wonder goal, and just how many?
I don't think any goalie could have stopped that shot.
It sucks, man. It just sucks when that happens. You just got to tip your hat and go, whatever.
Right, but in the pantheon of Guzan long distance goals that he's given up, man, like it's so many, unfortunately, and it's just like that's what what Montreal was trying to do.
Yeah.
But they just didn't have the quality. And I mean, yeah, you'll give up those types of looks all day if it means that you don't give up the type of shots that we gave up tonight in the box. But yeah, some of the probably lowest XG shots, unfortunately, tonight. But yeah, Nick, final thoughts.
I think I'm already seeing it in the chat. We were gassed. This is our third game in a week. We were running on fumes in the second half. The energy was not there, and now we've got a week to rest before we play again. Rest, regroup, train, and to every fan watching this video right now, watching this live stream, please get a ticket. I don't care. I know it's expensive. Please get a ticket. Get in the supporter section. Show up. We need you next Saturday to bring the energy and help our Five Stripes get some kind of chance to keep this series going.
Yeah.
We need you.
Yeah, indeed. And because there is that MLS narrative, for sure. The script writers and all of the sponsors, the league, I am sure would want Messi to continue.
Oh yeah.
And if we can be that team to topple them, I mean, yes, it is like I mentioned earlier, like the petty machine will be in full force, dialed past 11. And it is.
My wife said during the game, like, because I told her about that, and she said, "Oh, there's no way that MLS would let Atlanta knock off Miami in the first round. They would she said she would probably sooner see Don Garber with a tranquilizer gun in the stands sniping our players to make sure that Miami gets through. Like, and I'm like, you know what?"
I don't think he needs to do that. Obviously, it's as simple as, hey, pro referees, hey, if it's a close call, VAR, and VAR, that's all that needs to happen.
Doesn't it happen all the time?
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's not perpetuate any conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, not today.
Anyway, Nick, thank you so much as always. Pleasure. Have a good night.
Take care, buddy. Yeah, and we're going to try and support Nick and everyone else on Saturday, so please do. Hopefully it'll be a good game to be at the very least, so entertaining wise. So let me see. We get Mark coming on next. And let's see if there's any comments. I hear Nick was seeing some comments. Gavin says, "Do I get a reward for being the first one to comment?" You do not, sorry. Guitar Geek CM says, "Honestly, if we had another day or two of rest, I think we could have definitely drawn, if not won. I think if we just were switched on for 90 minutes from the start of the whistle, we probably could have gone to at least penalties, which would have been nice." Guitar Geek also says, "Our guys were clearly tanked after the first half." Yeah, it was, the wear and tear was showing. And Omar says, "We can be a factor, but there will be many Messi jerseys." Yeah, there will be. And I think Nick had an eye on that when he said we need everyone. Because, there's going to be a good amount of people at the stadium there for Messi. And we got to show up to drown out that din, that counter noise that will be coming from the pink jerseys. All right, let's see. Is that Mark I see joining up right now?
Mark is in here.
Mark is in here.
Is just his avatar.
He's just sneaking around in the back. Oh, is that him? I heard him.
Okay. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
I hear you. I don't see you yet. There you
are.
There he is. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm good. Figuring out this whole Discord thing. No, just kidding.
Yeah, right. All right.
No,
So, how are you feeling after this? I mean, it's a roller coaster from the last games to this game. I mean, is it as bad as the 1-0 starting a series against Miami as it seems, or is there some positives? Is there some takeaways that you think we can build upon and kind of really depend upon for next game?
I think there's a lot of positives actually that Elaine and I can take from this. You know, like I turned on the stream about half an hour before kickoff, and you know, there's a lot of Messi, right? Of course. And then they ran at one point like I guess a graphic of like the biggest upsets in sports history, right? They had the Miracle on Ice, they had Saudi Arabia versus Argentina. Like this was what they were comparing it to, right? So nobody really gave LA United a chance. And I mean, fair play, like the XG was well, at least according to FOTMob, 3.12 to 0.85, right? So Guzan still on his head, you know, he kept us in the game. And I would say after, so I thought they were very tactical, I guess, in how they approached this match, and not just, you know, in how they set up, but things like, okay, we win a foul in our own half, we just slow down, right? You just walk up the field, no need to rush things, right? Because even at that point, when you're down 1-0, you're only down 1-0, right? You get one goal, you're back in it, and really a tied score is a good score for LA United. And so I thought about halfway through the first half, they kind of started to find their footing, actually started to get on the ball a bit. I thought the second half of the first half was really the best they looked in terms of playing a total game. And I thought the build-up for the goal was really nice. You know, it's just, you know, just the way, I mean, like, because they had a spell of possession. They actually had a corner, I believe, right before that goal, right?
Yeah.
And then, just, I mean, Amador, so good, you know, just.
He is, man.
You know, like, just the clever use of space, right? You know, bring the ball in, and then seeing that pass, and like if Saba could play Miami 34 times, he would be the MVP. Like,
yeah, he loves it, man. He's all about it, Chase Stadium, dude.
Yeah, you know, and then Chiari actually had a chance at the end of the first half. You know,
do you think, like, I don't know, something tells me sometimes when he just gets touched, you know, he'll go down and try to do that instead of just trying to stay up and get the shot off correctly. I don't. It seemed like he went down a little too easy there.
For sure, because at first I was like, okay, was there a pull? But then on replay, there wasn't much. You know, and I kind of wonder if he was just a little bit off balance to begin with. It's definitely. I heard you guys talking about the need for a 9. I think that's clear. You know, Chiari and Rios are fine, but I think that's probably got to be one of the main targets in the offseason. But even that crowd was so silent, man.
Yeah.
At halftime, you know, it felt like we were really in the game, and I mean, they stayed in it. You know, like they picked up a couple of injuries. There was the thing with Ron Hernandez not being healthy unexpectedly, and so it's just.
And that poor guy getting his 3rd ACL tear, essentially. Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Ian Frey, and yeah, it's like he had already gone down with 3 ACL injuries before. 2 on his right, 1 on his left. Like, that is heartbreaking. Like, you don't want to see that for any player.
As a 22-year-old, it's unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
It's pretty much one, like, every probably year and a half, maybe.
Right.
Like, that's outrageous. And man, talk about Mr. Glass. That's just
I know.
dang.
Yeah.
Tough. But it is, yeah. It's like the need for a 9 is massive. Them two, I think, obviously came in knowing they would be a backup. I don't know with as much playing time as they've had this year that they would both want to continue being backups. Even though they've both proven that they're very much backups. But it is, if they were both on the team next year as as backup strikers, I'd be okay with it. No big deal in terms of that. But because I think as strikers off of the bench, they've been some of the best that we've had. Mm-hmm. But in terms of starting quality and for us to win majority of games, we need a striker that puts the ball in the back of the net, and it could change the game state.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Imagine if TR had put that in, or a number 9 that can consistently put the ball in the back of the net. Put that in 2-1 up in Miami. Ooh, or,
because they have a worldie coming. A worldie's coming.
Exactly.
So you gotta build an insurance.
Exactly. And so it's just that's the sad part is there is a what could have been, but there also is they probably could have had like 5 or 6 tonight if it not for Greg Guzan.
Exactly. That's the trade-off of the sport, right? And man, it is just so frustrating. Who for that first goal? Who gave the ball away? I wasn't.
I think it was a Schleich error.
Schleich, yeah, because he both gives the ball away and then doesn't really properly track the run on the inside, so that allows. Was that Alba who assisted?
No, I don't think it was Alba.
It was like 2 passes, right? So yeah, who made the pass to Suarez?
I think that was Redondo.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but
whoever makes that internal run. Yeah. It's just when you're up against it, like when you're going to be up against it like that, the last thing you can afford to do is give away a goal.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
I think there is a bit of this. Sorry to cut you off, but like Schleich seems a little bit like we point out with confidence players. If he makes a mistake, it tends to kind of like linger a little bit with him a little bit, and it's like I'm hoping he can with what you call it, Ted Lasso on the mind, obviously with Beardy giving an interview in the before the show or before the game and saying Dax McCarty was the key.
Yeah.
By the way, sidebar, Dax McCarty was very good in this match.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he ran the game. Like for a part of me when they were saying Sergio Busquets, Dax McCarty, midfield generals, and I'm like, they both are, but the golfing quality is like massive. Right. But it's no slight on Dax McCarty. Like he is an incredible MLS player, but putting them both together in the same conversation it felt a little weird,
right?
But either way, back to I hopped so many topics there that I forgot what I'm saying. So, but I think it was on Schleich, and Schleich, it's like I think for him to maybe get some therapy, kind of knock out some of that stuff that I think he's a very useful player for us if he can not drop his head after an error.
Yeah,
because it's apparent to me anyway. But
I think so too.
Yeah, but Mark, some other thoughts?
Man, I don't know. Like I'm encouraged. I think it's just been such a whirlwind, right? Like you have the win against Red Bull, the international break, the win against forgotten already. Orlando. How could I forget, right? And then right into the wild card match, right into this match. I think now they have a full week to breathe, recover, and I think the football from Atlanta United will be more proactive at home. I think with having their legs under them a bit more, I think they will be more encouraged to get after Miami, because Miami's old.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, and for that all-star core group of players up there, this is their first season in MLS, and now they're at the end of a long season of traveling and whatnot, playing in all kind of different climates and so forth. Like, it's the travel aspect of MLS is underrated.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I say get after them, man. Like, I mean, obviously you're gonna give up chances. I don't think you can hope to completely keep them out of your box, but I think I feel that I think they should be confident going into the next match.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that sounded like final thoughts if I ever heard some. But yeah, if you had some final thoughts, then
I have one question for you. So before you go, while we have you, Ronald Hernandez was a late scratch to the lineup today. Do you think that they were planning? Do you think they were planning on running the original lineup that had won the previous game, or do you think they had to switch it up?
Apparently it was 1:00 that Valentino was still making decisions, according to the broadcast. So do with that information as you will.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Hernandez at least had a role to play in this match. It did, because they did make mention of the fact that Valentino was forced to make some unexpected changes. So
man, he got hit with a lot, huh? Yeah.
Valentino dealt with a lot of adversity. He kind of dealt with it pretty well, I would say. So, we'll see what happens in the next match, and hopefully the third match. But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty encouraged overall with how Atlanta United, both like the mental fortitude, and at times the quality, if not throughout the match.
Yeah, and hopefully Maranchuk can go 90. Right. I felt like we had a big void when he left.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, I think that pretty much led to the second half being way more one-sided, because we didn't have someone to run the game.
Mm-hmm.
And Fortune, I noticed in the first half, played a couple long diagonals. I hadn't seen that from him before, so that was really encouraging too. He also got subbed at halftime though, although I didn't hate that sub. I think Muyumba came on for him.
Yeah. So what do you think of Muyumba hacking down Lionel Messi in extremely dangerous territory? How do you make that mistake? He's looking for it. He is. And you still just unnecessarily do that. That frustrated the hell out of me.
But lesser players have also done that, and greater players have also done that. It's just, I think that's just what Messi is so good at.
Yeah,
like that's really tough. Like, I don't slate Muyumba for that, but
I do. I'll do that. I'll slate him all day for that.
But I think I slate him for other things, in the sense that I don't know if he really deserved the minutes tonight.
No.
I don't think I really saw enough from him.
Yeah.
There was a moment where he skipped past the player, but then he ran himself into some traffic.
Yeah. So I have some. I think there's some more to say on Tristan, and then some on Silva too. We'll save that for our next guest, because we're trying to keep it moving along tonight, because it's gonna be late. So Mark, thanks for hanging out for a little bit, and giving your takes, and we'll see you next time, hopefully, maybe for game 2.
Maybe. Thank you guys for having me on as always. Go Atlanta United.
Thanks, bud. Take care. All right, so moving right along. Let's see, get our third guest going. And if you guys have any questions or comments in the chat, please post them, and we will get to them. We get to all of them, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, Shane Silva, when he came on, the same time as Tristan Muyumba. It was this. It was like, okay, yeah, like he gave some energy that was, kind of a good change of pace for us, especially, kind of where he was playing, which was a little bit more like the almost inside forward a little bit. He wasn't really playing the wing as much, really, kind of leaving that for Amador, I think. And that shot, super close. Obviously ends up as a missed shot and not on target or even on goal, but well hit, well struck.
Yeah.
And
sucks it wasn't on target. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Because it would have beat Calendar. So another what could have been, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, we had some good looks if we could just be clinical. Gavin, are you there? Coming in, Gavin, are you there?
Hello.
All right, you are there. Hey. Awesome. Let me just get you more framed up. There you are. Here we are, Gavin. All right, so unfortunately it is not another win that you get to join us for, but at least we're here together. So what did you feel about this game? It comes off of the back of some really, really high euphoric moments and games in Atlanta United history, and then there's this. How did it sit with you?
Well, first off, I want to get this out of the way. Absolutely heartbreaking to see Ian Frey go down after all his ACL tears. I just hated to see that. Mm-hmm. Just imagine being an athlete, living the dream, playing in Miami with Messi and all the Barcelona stars. You're just living the dream, and then you get to come back feeling better than ever. After all that recovery, now you got to go through all again for the third or fourth time at the age of 22, because now you got to possibly consider medical retirement, possibly, because that's just heartbreaking. I wanted to get that out of the way, because that is just very sad to see. And not just that, stuck to see Brooks Lennon go down for what could possibly be his last match for us. You never know what could happen in the offseason. Things happen. That sucks, and it sucks to see Stan go down, but at the same time, you have to remember, this team played last Saturday to Tuesday to today. That's not a lot of rest. So, it doesn't surprise me that we saw muscle tightness from Ian, but Lennon, that was just unfortunate, and it sucks to have to be an injury like that, especially without Ronald Hernandez, because you don't have much in that position, so you had to sub in Luis Abram, and yeah. But about the match, I thought it was impressive to see only us give up 2 goals, because this score is going to flatter a lot of people. This was not a 2-1 match. I feel like it was pretty lopsided. Most of the match, Miami have had so many chances, and Guzan just stood on his head the entire time. This reminded me of his performance against LAFC last season. Instead, it wasn't a clean sheet. I think that was probably one of his best performances in his history with us, but I don't know which one was better, this one or LAFC one, but both were really good. Unfortunately, we couldn't send in the penalties. Like I mentioned before, though, we should have not give them that gift early. They just cannot turn that ball over. I mentioned it, that you cannot give gifts to Miami. I mean, that wasn't how I mentioned gifts were like literal gifts. That was a gift, but not more of a gift of what I was referring to. But
it was like a pseudo gift.
We were the team that... Exactly. Yeah. It just
a giveaway in a bad position, which in our half, or in our back third, it's like that's really
giving it to some of the most talented human beings to ever play the game. That is not a good idea.
Yeah, and I thought there were lots of nerves there, like you said, Mike. Williams had some very bad passes, I saw. I mean, the player that really showed those nerves definitely was Derek Williams. But there was that one time where he just passed it backwards and Suarez almost had it. But thankfully, that didn't go.
Yeah, he didn't seem as sure of himself as usual, but he still did a decent job. There wasn't anything too bad, but it did look like he was a little bit off his game.
A little nervy.
At the start, it was a bit nervy, but I'm glad that Saba scored, and I knew he would. I predicted on Five Stripe Weekly. I knew he'd be the person to score goals, and we saw that from him tonight. Hit it 1-1, but like you said as well, Mike, there's gonna be a wonder strike, and Jordi Alba, that was not on my book. I did not think he'd be the one to do it. He's probably the best left back in the league. He's Jordi Alba. I mean, very experienced, but at the same time, he's a left back. I mean, didn't see that. I mean, Messi didn't score, but still lost. He just couldn't give that goal up early, and then we tied it, and that was good. I thought it was a bit impressive to like be in the game into a situation where you're low on players. 2 unexpected first half injuries without Ronald Hernandez. It could have been worse, but need to bounce back for game 2 and at the Benz, and we need people to be at the game.
Yeah, it was a gritty display, this game, despite the result. And I think that if we get, like we said, our legs back under us again, a little bit less injuries, we're able to use the tactics that we want the day of the game, things that we believe are tried and true and will work. I think we have a much better chance, especially because we'll be at home. It's just like you gotta score minimum 2 goals against Miami, minimum, in order to have a chance against them.
Right, and I think there's a bit of this too. It's like What was interesting was it seemed like a very gentlemanly game, even though we were crowding them out. We were trying to make sure that Messi wasn't given a ton of time and space to play, because, man, I would assume, I would personally would have made an example out of Santiago Sosa, even though he's not on the team anymore. But to these new players on the team and to anyone who's playing against Inter Miami and Messi is basically like, don't be like Sosa, where you respect Messi so much that you won't even get close to him.
Yeah, you lay out the red carpet.
Right, exactly. But in this match, I think we got close enough to him to at least try to put him off as much as possible.
Definitely.
Even though Messi is still gonna Messi. And it was so interesting that the first yellow card came so late to Williams. And that was it, on an innocuous, 50-50, battle with basically both were going for the ball. And it's just like, okay, he kicks into his foot. But I think, something that we might need to kind of use our, home pitch advantage a little bit in the next match is, okay, use a little bit of the dark arts, and the home fans will protect you. So a bit of that, hopefully we can put them off of their game to not allow them to get that big of a foothold into matches, because we have to put them off. We have to stop them from being able to play, and probably a little bit more, kind of midfield fouls versus, it was even, the free kick. It's like, oh, it's super close. Like, Messi's always going to be putting quality on any kick. It's just like, okay, that was out, but it would have beaten Guz.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, time and time again, though, like, Guz shows up this season. But Gavin, as far as positives that you can take into the next match to maybe see as hope, are there anything?
Well, Guzan is gonna need to be huge as always, like tonight. I don't know if we're gonna see that performance 2 times in a row, because it's hard to see that, especially from Guzan, because he's like, he'll have these games where it's okay. And there's these games where he does really good, and there's games where he does really bad. He's just, it's just like that for him. So, good from Guzan, but Saba he needs to get back on the score sheet. But here's what really is huge. First of all, home field advantage is huge, but that's not the biggest one. The biggest one to me is the rest the players need. Everyone needs rest, because we haven't had much of that. And Miami had more rest than we did. All their players going in Miami. We're traveling across everywhere. We're literally traveling everywhere. Miami is just in Miami waiting for us just to beat us. And
that's that privilege from doing well in the regular season.
Yeah, so the rest is crucial, and I do think we'll definitely be a lot better in game 2 because we're home and we get rest. So what we need, I hope Theon's okay, and I hope we can get Ronald back. We need, like, because we were I'm surprised we only gave up 2 goals, but it's like we can definitely do better. It won't be however many shots we gave up, like 22 or I don't know, however many shots we gave up. We can definitely do better than that. Cannot let that happen. We need Theon for that, and gonna need a right back because Ronald wasn't available tonight, and seeing Lennon go down was unfortunate. So yeah. It's hard to find. I mean, the positive is that you were in the game the entire time. If we can just fight that way, and don't lose 2 of our players in the first half, don't give gifts early, then I think we can make it a game. And then if we win that game 2, put the pressure back on them in game 3 and see what happens.
Yeah,
we're not
100%.
Season's not over yet.
Yep.
Right. Because I mean, I think what you're pointing out is self-inflicted wounds, and if we can stamp that out, if we can prevent ourselves from shooting ourselves in the foot, we'll have a much better chance.
Yeah. The way I framed it on Discord was that Atlanta apparently likes to play games on hard mode. And they just like, okay, we'll give you a free goal to start the game because we feel sorry for you or something. We know you need it. We know you need it to make this game competitive, so we'll give you a free goal.
Yeah, we can afford that, clearly. So, yeah, I mean, Miami can afford that.
Yeah.
And, but because that's really what it is. They have the cheat codes.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, they have 4 players that should be DPs. And only 2? Only 2 are? Yeah. Anyway, but yeah.
You could argue 5 players. I mean, like Gressel could be almost a DP at some point.
Almost.
Yeah, the way just Miami fits in all these players is impressive. I mean, the Barcelona squad, and just all these other players. I mean, I don't know how they do it. It's like, there's got to be something going on behind the scenes. How is this possible? Why can't we do this? And I mean, there's been many good signings, and we saw Gareth Bale. I think Bale was probably like the first big name to come here. Now LAFC has Oliver Giroud.
In this new era, yeah.
Yeah. Olivier Giroud, definitely the DP, and I think they had to, buy down somebody, but still, it's to pretty much,
one of the best goalies in the world, like on a not DP.
Yeah. Right. I mean, Lloris. I mean, I wouldn't say he's one of the best in the world.
No, not the best. He's one of the best. He's the freaking goalkeeper of France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have respect for him as a France goalkeeper, but there's some bias showing for me probably because former Spurs goalkeeper. So, but anyway, they were still linked with the likes of Antoine Griezmann and now Paul Pogba as well. It's like, I mean, how? Like, it's just like, okay, it really comes down to this point. Then it's like, are we going to be allowed to do this? Because
we're allowed to. I just don't think those players want to come here. That's just my thing. I think they see LA, they see Miami, and they go, "Ooh, nice, fancy beaches, rich people,
big party
mansions."
cities.
Like I want. That's where the Hollywood elite is. That's where all the super rich live. I want to go there too. Not Atlanta. Where is that? I have never been to the United States outside of New York City and LA before, so I don't know what Atlanta is.
I think you guys are severely underrating Atlanta in that sense because it is.
I'm being hyperbolic to a degree, but I do know quite a few Europeans who only know 3 or so American cities, and it's not Atlanta. I mean, the ones that do know Atlanta know because they have to fly through it, and that's the only reason they know it.
Well, that's a big part of it, but I think with the obvious things of like Alexei Miranchuk, where he's Russian and lived in Italy, and it was the rap that got there. It's the exports, like South Korea, like the biggest export for them is K-pop, and Korean barbecue. Like those things have permeated the culture, everywhere, and make no mistake, there's Atlanta things that have permeated the culture.
No, I'm not saying there's none or anything. I'm not saying we don't have pull. I'm just saying compared, if you're going to give a European a selection of LA, Miami, New York City, and Atlanta, I think we all know who they're picking.
But there's only so many spots. Just like Barcelona and Real Madrid, there's only so many spots.
Mm-hmm.
So if it comes down to the time,
then they'll just stay in Europe.
If they can.
Yeah, if they can.
That's not always the case.
Yeah.
Like Olivier Giroud probably could have had the chance to stay, but
easily, yeah.
But it is one of those things. It's like, yes, he might be seduced by the glamour of LA with all that. I think we're going off the
He's
track.
a big diva, so of course he went to LA. Yeah,
possibly. But yeah, and so either way, final thoughts on this match, Gavin.
Yeah, I wanted to mention something. I want to put an example. Alexis Vega was one of the players that were rumored to come to MLS, and then I think San Jose offered him up, and it was looking like he was about to go to San Jose, but he said no, because he wanted to go to LA, Galaxy, LAFC, or Miami. He just didn't want to go to San Jose because that's
also San Jose.
Yeah. Exactly,
who
San
just,
Jose.
Who just
that's
got
not
linked?
A big party place.
Oh,
Who just got linked with San Diego too?
De Bruyne, Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a whole different thing. I think San Jose, like, if you look at their history, especially their recent history, like, all it takes is a little bit of a Google, and it's like, oh god, like,
it's not just the fact it's not a party place. It's a really shitty team to be with, and
exactly.
Their history is terrible. Yeah. All they've had, their best player, their history is with Chris Lonalowski. That's about it.
Exactly, and obviously Donovan as well early on, but it is this, like, Atlanta United have cachet. We just need to utilize it. Like, there definitely are players that we can bring in that's are that level of player, world renowned. I promise you.
Where they at, AJ? Bring him in. Go call him.
But it's a two-way street. We have to want to bring in those players as well, and our FO has not wanted to do that.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So
that's stupid.
But I mean,
it clearly works. It's stupid. Like, it's
right.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's proven right now that it works in different eras for sure.
Like, unless you can do what we did in 2018, like, just do the other thing. So
right. And
all right, Gavin.
That's what Miami's doing. That's the thing. They did a little bit of that and also bringing in those top level players. So it's But anyway, yes, Gavin.
Yeah. These are my final thoughts. So, Game 2. Your season's on the line yet again. You saw it against Orlando. You saw it against Montreal. Now you're back in the situation. It's that the home field advantage, and you get a rest. I think just because those three factors, you're back at home. I know there's going to be Messi fans there, not Miami fans. They're probably going to all be Messi fans from what I saw.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not sure there is a Miami fan. I think it's only
literally Messi jerseys everywhere. When I went to the game, the Miami game last summer in the Benz when we won 5-2, all the Miami jerseys I saw were Messi jerseys. I don't believe I saw a single, whoever was it, like Joseph Martinez jersey. I didn't see... maybe Busquets or Alba, but no one else.
You'll see Suarez for sure now. But...
Like, who was that? Rodolfo Pizarro. Like, I saw none of those jerseys. I saw only Messi jerseys or any Barcelona jerseys. That's all I saw. And yeah, that's about all I saw. So yes, there will be Messi fans there, but I'm not sure if it's going to be full capacity.
Also, Gonzalo Higuain jerseys.
Yeah, I saw none of that. In fact, I just forgot he even played there. Like, I completely forgot about that. I mean, that was...
He didn't really help him very much.
No, not at all. He literally was a sub. Like, he was a super sub at that point. And yeah, he didn't really do much. At first, it was a little interesting. He had a couple good strikes, free kick strikes. I recall one against the Red Bulls a while ago. But yeah, either way. So it's good to be back home. The rest that we get, and what was I gonna say? It's the fact that we get. Yeah, I think I forgot what I was going to say for my third one, but I think this game, it'll go to penalties or we win. I don't see us immediately losing game 2. I don't think it's going to be them scoring more goals than us at the final whistle. I don't see that for game 2 just because of what I mentioned.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's probably going to be the case unless we see worldies coming in with in bunches. That there's just nothing.
I just remembered what I was about to say. It's the fact that our season's on the line. Our season's on the line, so we were playing really desperate. So the team knows the season's on the line. In the last few games we've done that, we played well. It's that, the rest, and we're at home. Those reasons are why I don't think Miami's gonna have more goals.
Gavin's 3 key pieces. Write them down.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thanks, Gavin. We appreciate it.
Have great.
Hope to be back soon.
Yeah, hopefully we'll win if you're on next. So.
Hopefully.
Yeah, man. All right, take care, bud. Good night.
Be well.
All right, let's keep it moving. We got who do we have on next? Oh yes. We got our good buddy Niall coming on next. If he's still awake, bear with us, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's almost 12:30. Long night. Game starts late. Crazy game. David G says that was a good fight tonight. Saab is quality. He is. He comes in. He's Mr. Reliable. It's interesting because he wasn't Mr. Reliable, but now he seems like he is. He's getting more consistent. He's gaining consistency, and that's huge for us. Brian Cordova says too many games in just a short amount of time. Not good for the players. And Tara Moody says, I gladly would have taken a Hawks loss and an Atlanta United win to appease the curse. Yeah, unfortunately, it was not to be.
I don't think there's a curse. It's just these sports are not correlated, but I get it.
Yeah, it's a meme in the Atlanta community that does not die.
Yeah,
even the 2018 victory did not kill it.
Yeah, it's just that the Braves won, the UGA won, the Dream won. I mean, it's like I think the Dream won. No, it was the lacrosse team. Either way,
it was the lacrosse team. That's right. Yeah. And also didn't the volleyball team win too?
I think so. Yeah, it's like this town wins all the time. It's just that it's a matter of it's not going to be all in the same day. Okay, but yeah, I'm not going to trade what is it in Marvel? It was Black Panther. I think that was saying it to Captain America. We don't trade lives. We're not trading wins. This is not how it goes.
Yeah.
We are absolutely they're independent of each other. And so let's just keep that juju that way.
Yeah, we'll try our best. I know it's tempting, and it's a meme, and it's fun to say it. So
I get it. I get it. But it's...
Yeah.
I'm trying to single-handedly squash this.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. You are in your own
probably
your own crusade to do that.
Trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah, trying to make fetch. All right, Niall, welcome to the stream. Been a little hot minute since we've seen you. What was your takes from this match? It's been a roller coaster leading up to it. I mean, up and down. I mean, this game unfortunately didn't go the way we wanted, but there are some things I think we can take from it that can help us out in the next game. So what were your thoughts on it as a whole? And then, I don't know, maybe some tidbits about what we can expect from the next game.
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, I think it was clear that the guys were tired. I mean, they've been playing, 3 games in 6 days, something like that. So, and all 3 very important games as well. So you could see that they were tired, but I think for me, it was obviously not Atlanta's best game, but for me, I think the fight was there quite a bit, and I think, we had chances to tie the game that maybe if we were more clinical, we would have been able to put away. Brad had a phenomenal match, just making so many incredible saves. The injuries are concerning. Gregerson obviously had to go out, and then obviously Lennon, who I think was in the hospital, and I think he maybe suffered a fractured shoulder or something like that.
Wait, I don't even know what that means.
Wait, no.
Sure.
Did I just
Dislocated or fractured, right?
Or dislocated shoulder.
It's
yeah.
late. It's almost 12:30.
It's late. Yeah, it's almost
Well,
12:30.
I'm getting the right information because dislocated sounds way better than disfractured.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, oh man, that's like a portmanteau of I guess the two.
Yes.
It got dislocated and fractured. I don't know, but either way,
Yeah.
go on.
Anyway, yeah. Good things to take away from this game. I mean, I think we know this, but Miami, of course, is open defensively with the way they want to play. They want to outscore you. I think there were many times where I think Miami looked a bit nervous, defensively, especially with Jordi Alba, who likes to go forward. I mean, obviously you saw the goal that he scored, which can't really do much about that goal, to be honest. That was just the screamer from outside the box. So I think in those moments Atlanta on the counter can really exploit. I think it'll be very interesting to see how this team plays next weekend with a week's rest, and they're going to be playing in front of an electric crowd that with hopefully presumably there will be quite a bit of Atlanta fans there, so it will definitely be interesting. And I think Atlanta can give Miami a run for their money and potentially make this a 3-game series just like they did with Columbus last season.
So one of my things is that, well, I guess it's not only mine, because the Discord went a little nuts during this game, talking about the non-impact of players like Miyamba and Silva, and the fact that they would be perfectly happy if those guys get traded because they still have lengthy contracts for next season. A lot of people were calling for their heads this game. Were you one of those types of people?
I mean, Muyamba and Shande have not been up to par for sure. But I think also we have to understand that these two players are tied to contracts. So Muyamba, I think, has one more guaranteed year or something like that.
Yeah, I think he's minimum 2.
Minimum 2. So we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty telling that they've not been starting for the past, I don't know how many games. It's been quite a lot of games. So yeah, I mean, that you ideally would want to get rid of them, but at the same time, when there's still a couple of years left on their contract, who's gonna be wanting to take their contracts realistically?
It's possible. I mean, I think they're useful players, but I mean, if they were on, I can see them being useful on a winning team as bench players, and if that's a role that they're okay with, okay, so be it. They're bench players, but as starters, yeah, just a little too inconsistent, I think, to have us rely on them for a winning side. But I think something that's interesting for the Jordi Alba goal. I mean, he was essentially in midfield on the right side, and so he popped up in a really different area than I think we're used to for left backs in this league. And for him to also take a shot too, it's yeah, he's probably the guy that you leave open, probably.
Yeah.
That or a right back, but it is that. It's that's the quality of Inter Miami, is that their left back can do that, because he's one of the probably top 5 best left backs in football history. So it's contending with that, but it is, if we can, if we're able to have that type of quality all over the pitch, that's where the difference is. It's the difference. How much of a gulf in talent there is, but yet we were able to keep it close enough, and
AJ, your internet is not working. Your internet has completely cut out.
You're cutting out.
So you fix that.
All good.
All right. Okay. You look like you're better now. Start talking again.
Yeah. I was gonna ask now.
Okay,
so
go for
basically, the the positives that you can take away for us bringing it into the Benz and possibly extending this into the third game.
I mean, yeah, I feel like I kind of already mentioned one of them,
Yeah.
which is the idea that, Miami is going to be open defensively. I mean, you're going to have players who are not going to track back, for example. You're going to have players who will get forward like Alba, who will leave themselves exposed. I think also, too, just, you're playing at home, you're playing at a place that you've not played in a bit, so you'll have the home crowd. And then I guess, just also another positive is that like you're going to be able to have players like Saba and Amador who showed their class today, like be able to also like pose threats to Miami as well. I mean, because those two have a very good combination. I mean, Amador has like 6 assists already. I mean, he's been quite a summer signing, probably Atlanta's best signing over the summer for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I caught the answer about Silva and Miamba. For me, I think you said like they were underperforming for sure, but then we went down a Jordi Alba thing for a minute. But yeah, so like, a lot of people were yelling at him because they looked like they were putting very little effort into the game. They looked like they were walking around a lot. They didn't feel and look like they were playing in a playoff game with high stakes against Lionel freaking Messi. It looked like they were just kind of lackadaisical. How'd you feel?
I mean, yeah, they definitely didn't have the effect that you would want them to have. But at the same time, I mean, like, what else would you really expect, like, honestly, out of these two, like, right now? I mean,
Hustle. Probably Hustle's the main one.
Yeah, I mean, Hustle's the main one, yes.
Like the fight. It just didn't seem like there was fight.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not, and maybe also that's maybe part of the reason why they're not starters, why they don't really play. I mean, Rob kind of had to force his hand with like playing them because of the injuries, and he didn't want to take any more risks with having to potentially have other players not be available. So, I mean, definitely not the ideal way to go, but at the same time, like, that was probably his only option. And yes, you would want to have more from Sean and from Miamba, but the truth is, like, like we've known this throughout the entire season, they've not been anywhere near their best. So
yeah,
it's kind of hard to like see how they would be at their best now.
Yeah,
especially with no match fitness really, and they're not in the swing of things where they can actually get a rhythm. I think people are expecting too much out of bench players at this moment, and I think like the writing is already pretty much on the wall for them. Like, I don't think we need to overemphasize and slate them more. Like, I think
if you have if you're having Jay Fortune start over Tristan Miamba, and if you're having other players start ahead of Shande, then I mean that pretty much tells the whole story. Like, that's been the case, for a while now. So I think I agree. I feel like people definitely like are maybe not realizing that like they're not playing at the, like, maybe we're expecting too much out of these two players. Like, maybe they're not as talented as we think they are.
Yeah, it's because they look at their salaries that came out recently again, and that's probably where a lot of it's coming from.
Right, exactly, and that's on Carlos Bocanegra and also Garth Lagerwey. But as far as like what the fans at least have already known about these two players, it seems like they're trying to find a scapegoat for this game. And it's like they were hardly the reason why that we got 22 shots against us in this match.
Yeah, and like Niall said, the hand was forced to play them anyway, so it's not as like Rob was like, here's my ace up my sleeve,
like
right.
Nobody, like, the game plan was not for having some of your most important players to be out injured and then having to rely on your bench, like, pretty much for the first half.
Yeah, so that was rough.
And there should be one caveat for Sean Silva is that he's been injured with a foot injury.
Yeah.
So it's not exactly selection. And then when he's back healthy, he's just lost his spot. He just hasn't really been able to, get match fit because the games are too important. So, it really is though. Yeah. When it comes down to the off season and, if we can move around some of these pieces, well, yeah, you bet they're probably going to be moving. But, yeah. Now, thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yep. Hopefully, we catch you
guys.
for a win next time. That'd be great.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Are you going to the game?
Yeah, I will be there. Actually.
All right. Well, if I show up, I'll say hi. But AJ, we all know is showing up, so go find him, and make sure you give him a big hug or something. So.
All right, I will. Cheers, guys.
All right. Cheers now. All right, and then we'll have our last guest come in here right quick. After I do that, I'll read some more of these comments. Let's see, what do we got going on here? Antara Moody says the joke is that ATL teams don't usually win on the same. Yes, we know.
Yeah.
All good, bro. Yeah. And AJ's still trying to kill it, so we'll see if it works. Gavin says, just noticing my camera quality goes very blurry each time the color changes in my room. Next time we'll make sure to keep it to 1. And it is what it is. I don't know if it's internet or whatever. So
yeah, Gavin, just make sure to get a key light for yourself, so a light that is on your face first, and then whatever's happening on the background can just happen on the background.
Yeah, it might wash out a little bit better. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea. So yeah, just buy a key light and.
I mean, you can basically whatever light that you maybe have on your desk, just put it against the wall and just let that bounce on you.
All right. So
photography tips.
We do not have any more comments. Please get your last comments in before we get out of here, guys. We're just waiting on one more guest. If they are still awake, it's possible they fell asleep because it is 12:39. Again, thank you all. Almost 20 of you guys hanging out with us late tonight in a loss too. So, I mean, it's tough. This stuff is tough when it's not going our way. But like we talked about, there's still some things to be pretty happy about. We weren't broken tonight. A lot of people thought we would be broken by Miami, that they would demolish us. Didn't happen.
And we have Brad Guzan to thank for that. Really, we really do. Some other players as well, but I mean, very notably. I mean, it's just like, yeah. I mean, there were some saves off the line too. That was, I think, Noah Cobb. And yeah, I mean, it's just like, dang, like so many good shots.
Yeah.
And thankfully only 2 went in. Whew, because, yeah, I mean, kind of going through them now in terms of the shots and the quality. I mean, Lionel Messi missing from pretty much like the 8-yard area. You would not bet on that.
No.
Because when he hit the post, I was like, how? How did he hit the post? Like,
yeah.
You mean this guy who, yeah, like,
he's just a little off tonight. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think he was off. I think it was just like Brad Guzan was just equal to his shots because they were on goal, like a majority of them in terms of the kick save, the knee save, the parry, besides the one that hit the post. It's like, man.
Crazy.
Anyway, Connie, welcome. Let's have your thoughts.
How you doing, bud?
It was an interesting game to say the least. I'm still riding the high. I don't know if y'all saw Freddie hit a walk-off homer for the Dodgers.
Nice.
Yeah, it's hard to root for the Dodgers or the Yankees, but me being born in California, I probably will err on the side of the Dodgers. But man,
I'm just happy.
Okay, Freddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like either one of them, but yeah. Getting back to the game though, yeah, it was an interesting one. I mean, it was kind of, I don't think it went exactly how we expected.
No.
As in we kind of had some unfortunate things happen in the first half. You know, couple injuries, couple of give ball to the opponent to let them go and score. But other than that, I mean, I was pretty happy overall with the performance from most people. I think, other than one error, I think pretty much everyone put in a decent shift, other than like maybe some of the subs were pretty meh in my opinion. But I don't necessarily think that it wasn't necessarily just performance based. It was more effort based for me, because I think even some of them, they weren't completely terrible whenever they came on. It just looked like they weren't giving as much effort as some of these people that have played 3 games in 90 minutes for all 3 of them, and I'm just like, that doesn't make sense to me. But oh well, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's there is the golf quality, and then there is the fatigue factor that definitely, are reasons, not excuses, but there are reasons why we look a little more flat. And that's the thing, though. It's like, did Inter Miami actually look more energetic than we did? I think they just had more
not
useful
that much
possession.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Like, they were way more incisive with the ball, and that's really kind of the importance when you have the ball. And yeah, I mean, we were clinical when we got our chance, but yeah, we needed to create more. And yeah, I think we had probably like 3 good chances, and that's not good enough. That's not good enough to
not
win
against
you
a team
football.
like that.
Yeah, but
yeah.
But defensively, it is that, like, you said the effort's there, but it is something or another. Like, we let in these goals. What do you think it is?
I think first one was just lack. Wasn't even like lapse in concentration. It was just kind of. I think it wasn't just he literally just didn't check his shoulders. He didn't check and see where the opponent was, and I mean, it's one of those ones. It's kind of similar to the Tiare one, I think, which he scored earlier in the year. You just don't expect it. You don't expect the man to be there. So, and I kind of understand it. It doesn't excuse it or anything. But I understand the why it happened. I think the more so for me was the lack of recovery from everyone involved. We kind of just continued and just let them walk through. We didn't really try and even put in a tackle. Try to understand that as well. You don't want to give away a penalty or anything that early into a match, but also it's like I'd much rather face a penalty than them just walking through on goal personally. But I mean,
yeah, and it sucks too, because I think it megged Guzan, so it was right at him, and if he just was able to get down a slight second faster, he would have had a almost perfect game.
Yeah, I don't think it megged him. I think he got down, but it rolled off his leg into the goal. So
okay. Oh,
yeah,
right.
it sucks, because it's like, yeah, he had it. He guessed where it probably should have been. He just wasn't able to get it out, and those always, that sucks the most, because it's like, he's there, can't do anything about it. It's if I feel like, I mean, if he had maybe stayed put, but I think he had to guess. He had to guess that it was near post, but it was, kind of dragging with his foot, and then just kind of rolled off his leg. But either way, yeah, go ahead, man.
It's one of those ones where if he doesn't guess and he just doesn't, and he kind of just stands up, people are like, why don't you give effort? And then he guesses and it goes in, and it's like, people are like, he could have done it. It's either way, he's not the winner either way. So
yeah, that's the difficulty with being a goalkeeper in any league, is that it's always your fault. Like, the ball goes in, it's always your fault, even though it's like, there's so much nuance to being a goalkeeper, and you're literally the last line of defense. Errors will always be goals, pretty much, and that's just kind of the bitter truth. And I mean, it's like Guzan, Man, like, we'll just pose you this question, man. Like, is he the starting keeper next year?
For me, it all depends on what that option is. How much is that option? Because if it's the same price as this year, I'm on the fence about it. If it's something like his contract before, like in the earlier years, I would be a lot more. Like if it's around like 400 to like that kind of, like if he's like Josh Cohen kind of money, a little bit more maybe, I think you're sticking with it. If it's the like kind of money that he's on now, I would kind of test waters, see what you have options on. And if I don't think you're finding that many great, I just don't see that many great options open right now. And I mean, I don't want to go spend the crazy money on a goalkeeper to bring one in from Europe. I don't think that works out for the Brest. I don't like that idea.
Yeah, it's like we have other things we want to finalize and figure out. We don't want to have to worry about that too.
It's kind of, it feels like this is a not. If it was going to be fixed, it should have already been fixed. And you're kind of like, we're going to have such a big change. I feel like this is the area where you're kind of like, I think you know what you're going to get. So I'm like, kind of sad,
But it is the question is, if not Guzan, well, yeah, you have some of these other aspects that, okay, yes, he was part of the winning sides, but is he also part of the leadership problem? Don't know. It doesn't seem so, but there does seem to be, some of the best teams have captains that are higher up the pitch, that are more outfield players.
I don't think your main captain, I don't think it should be a goalkeeper personally.
Right. And that, I mean, the coincidence of that, our worst years with him as the captain could just be that, but I don't know.
I don't know either. It's hard to tell. It's hard to imagine that it's a problem because he just seems like he seems like a great natural leader, when he's just the way he is. I feel like it might be.
It's probably more so of a fact of, it's not that he's the captain. It's the fact that there's no one else up the field that can be a captain.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily him that's the problem. It's that there's no one else up the field.
Yeah, we've talked about that before. We think that's also, you need multiple people to be able to be a,
I also argue that my whole entire thing with so many people offering who should be captain. I'm personally, I think you need somebody that plays almost every single minute, and you need somebody that personally, I think veterans of MLS is a really good thing to make a captain, just because they know the referees, they know how to talk to them.
True.
And usually they're kind of friendly with them, so it's a good conversation. But
yeah, absolutely, it's that. It's that level of being able to influence a ref possibly is important. That's why I think we brought on McCarty for this match as well, for the experience, and I thought he kept things ticking. But I think I had umbrage with the selection, even though it was forced, but it was just a little too flat in midfield. We had to bypass them too much, and it was the errors in midfield because, well, we don't have players giving options for each other. They're just right next to each other.
Yeah.
In the same zone, in the same kind of horizontal line. It's just not what you need in order to progress on the pitch. And
and I've noticed they're so close together sometimes that the one guy that's covering the other guy, it would just he'll just go from the one guy and then he'll just run right to the other guy afterwards. And now that guy is functionally covering both of them, and then our guy now just turns around and passes it back because, he's blocked it off. And it's just that really is an effective defensive, slicing of our team out. So I was like, damn, that's obnoxious. So yeah, I don't know what that is or why they're doing that, but that's not good.
Well, it's just, I think, where they're used to playing. Schleich, McCarty are just too similar. It's just too flat. They're not dynamic enough. They both shouldn't be playing unless we're trying to protect a lead. And in which, Lionel Messi was in the middle of the park a lot more than, where his usual position is, where, it's more on the right wing. So, I can see that, I can understand that, but it is also, going forward, we just didn't have, I think, enough dynamic runs, people running enough either. It's just, it just seemed like Thiago was on an island. And it's really difficult to progress up the pitch when his touch pretty much gives it away almost immediately. So, but final thoughts.
I'm confident coming out of that game overall. I almost kind of wish it was a little bit for us. I kind of wish it was almost a little bit worse for us, because I feel like that might kind of put some complacency in them, and also it might kind of give us something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would have. I think they're kind of coming in. They know they got to do something here, and I think we're kind of beat down right now. So I'm a little bit worried about that. But I hope recovery's good, and hopefully Brooks is almost definitely out. I don't think there's any hope in that. But Greg, I'm hoping, from the looks of it, him walking off, he looked okay. He didn't look too bad, but
right. It was a weird thing too. It's like it. I don't know if you caught the gentlemanly thing earlier, but it was like, they allowed us to, even though it was like, okay, we clearly gave it away.
Yeah.
And
Suarez is like, ooh, free ball. Right.
And Inter Miami was still playing, but they were like, oh, okay, all right. Yeah, like his hamstring.
That's
okay.
I said something in the Discord about that too. I was like, they were like, it was like Messi. He finally stopped it, and they're like, oh, Inter Miami here, very gentle. I think it was some. I forget exactly the words that they said. They were like very nice to them or whatever, and I was like, they were literally continue playing, and then it was Messi, the only one that realized and stopped playing.
Yeah, right.
Lord, such
that. Yeah, that's what's wild.
That commentary.
yeah, but it is that. It's like, man, Messi, jeez, it's like people that the whole debates about Messi and Ronaldo. It's like, let's be real, you're not going to see Ronaldo do this.
It's just biased. I think I'm an all around Messi guy, but it's,
but. And so it was like, Gregerson with just like the weakest kick to try to kick it out, but his leg was gone. Obviously, he was his right foot was
it was
his
dead leg.
Left foot was pretty much shot, so his right foot was nothing at that point.
Luis Suarez probably is like, well, traditional MLS defense. Of course, I'll just take advantage of this. This always happens.
Yeah, right. But. Definitely. It's like Gregerson, being able to walk off is huge. But it still is, I think, okay, if it was a tear of an ACL, obviously walking off doesn't really mean much, because we've seen how that doesn't really matter. But to walk off, I think, a hamstring, again,
and his face didn't look that pained, or / concerned. It was more like, I need to stop now or things will get worse, is what it seems like.
Right. It didn't seem like it was a grade, even a graded strain yet, which hopefully it's not. So
it was kind of like he just felt something and was like, gotta.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't even pull up too. It's not like he ran and then went oh god, there it is. So.
Shall talk about have y'all talked about Suarez absolutely falling to the ground in each second?
We haven't talked about it yet, but that was ridiculous.
Yeah, that or the pretty much at the top of the second half. Yeah, that was
running at Williams and he just falls over.
That's just Suarez and what he does.
I personally, I just dislike that kind of play. That's
me too.
Sure.
I hate it too.
I was hoping for him to be offside in this match so I could tweet out that his teeth were offside. But,
Right.
That's just being petty. But but anyway, yeah. On that note, Connor, thank you so much.
Yes.
And we will see you next time. Have a great rest of the night.
You as well. See you guys.
Take care, bud. Have a good one. And then Gavin says, Connor, we know that you're an all-around Messi guy. Your Discord name is literally Messi Boy. Yeah. So, yeah, that is true. So anyway, that basically wraps it up. We have no other comments in the chat. Pretty quiet night. It's also almost 1 a.m. Thanks for hanging out with us. Ah, man, I hope these games get earlier, honestly.
I know, right? Yeah, well, the next week is 7 o'clock, so at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, even the 7s are a little harsh, but yeah, like, it is what it is. So, and then I was looking at the schedule for, like, because I was wanting to watch LA Galaxy play, and it's 11 p.m. start time tomorrow.
I know, right?
Like,
it's
my God. Weird. So, that's rough. That's rough.
Yeah, and, I mean, I get it. They're trying to maximize the local crowd. Yeah. So, okay. Fair. But, yeah, are you trying to get other people to watch? Because, yeah, probably not. Like, East Coast ain't staying up for it. They're going to catch the highlights.
Europe is still sleeping. Like, it's, you know.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
France
all right.
is definitely sleeping.
Oh, yeah, they're 6 hours ahead, so it's going to be, you know. There'll still be
no one's staying up because they're a French national team fan to watch Olivier Giroud and Hugo Lloris. Like, no, highly doubt it.
Highly doubt it.
Anyway, yeah, let's wrap it up. Everyone, thank you so much for sticking around. If you're still in here, if you're watching the replay, much love to you as well. But yeah. We'll call it a night. For Michael, I'm AJ. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We will see you in the next video. Good night.
Good night, everybody.